The Chinese Dream. Achieving rejuvenation is the dream of the Chinese people. November 29th, 2012. Speech made when visiting the exhibition, The Road to Rejuvenation. The exhibition, The Road to Rejuvenation, is about the past, present, and future of the Chinese nation, and it is a highly educational and inspiring one. In the old days, the Chinese people went through hardships as grueling as storming an iron wall pass. Footnote 1. Mao Zedong, Laoshan Pass, Mao Zedong Poems, English edition, Foreign Languages Press, Beijing, 1998, page 31. End of footnote 1. Its sufferings and sacrifices in modern times were rarely seen in the history of the world. However, we Chinese never yielded. We waged indomitable struggles and succeeded in becoming masters of our own destiny. Imbued with the national spirit of patriotism, we have launched the great cause of building the country. Today, the Chinese nation is undergoing profound changes, like seas becoming mulberry fields. Footnote 2. Mao Zedong, the People's Liberation Army captured Nanjing. Ibid, page 49. End of footnote 2. Having reviewed our historical experience and made painstaking efforts to probe our way forward in the past 30 years and more since the reform and opening up process was started, we have finally embarked on the right path to achieve the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation and made impressive achievements in this pursuit. This path is one for building socialism with Chinese characteristics. In the future, the Chinese nation will forge ahead like a gigantic ship breaking through strong winds and heavy waves. Footnote 3. Li Bai, The Hard Road. 3 poems. Li Bai, 701 to 762, was a Tang Dynasty poet. End of footnote 3. Our struggles in the over 170 years since the Opium War have created bright prospects for achieving the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. Footnote 4. The Opium War was a war of British aggression against China from 1840 to 1842. In 1840, in response to China's opposition to the import of opium from British traders, the British government sent troops to invade China on the excuse of protecting trade. The Chinese troops fought back under the leadership of Lin Zheyu, 1785 to 1850, governor of Guangdong and Guangxi provinces. People in Guangzhou organized armed groups to fight the invaders. Anti-British struggles were also seen in Fujian and Zhejiang provinces. In 1842, British troops invaded the Yangtze River area and forced the Qing government to sign the Treaty of Nanking, the first unequal treaty in the history of modern China. End of footnote 4. We are now closer to this goal, and we are more confident and capable of achieving it than at any other time in history. Reviewing the past, all party members must bear in mind that backwardness left us vulnerable to attack, whereas only development makes us strong. Looking at the present, all party members must bear in mind that the path we take determines our destiny, and that we must resolutely keep to the right path that we have found through great difficulties. Looking ahead at the future, all party members must bear in mind that we still have a long way to go and much hard work to do before we can turn our blueprint into reality. Everyone has an ideal, ambition, and dream. We are now all talking about the Chinese dream. In my opinion, achieving the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation has been the greatest dream of the Chinese people since the advent of modern times. This dream embodies the long-cherished hope of several generations of the Chinese people, gives expression to the overall interests of the Chinese nation and the Chinese people, and represents the shared aspiration of all the sons and daughters of the Chinese nation. History shows that the future and destiny of each and every one of us are closely linked to those of our country and nation. One can do well only when one's country and nation do well. Achieving the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation is both a glorious and arduous mission that requires the dedicated efforts of the Chinese people, one generation after another. Empty talk harms the country, while hard work makes it flourish. Our generation of communists should draw on past progress and chart a new course for the future. We should strengthen party building, rally the sons and daughters of the Chinese nation around us in a common effort to build our country and develop our nation, and continue to boldly advance towards the goal of the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. I firmly believe that the goal of bringing about a moderately prosperous society in all respects can be achieved by 2021, when the CPC celebrates its centenary. The goal of building China into a modern socialist country that is prosperous, strong, democratic, culturally advanced, and harmonious can be achieved by 2049, when the PRC marks its centenary. And the dream of the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation will then be realized. Address to the first session of the 12th National People's Congress, March 17th, 2013. Fellow deputies, this session has elected me President of the People's Republic of China, and I wish to express my heartfelt thanks to you and the people of all ethnic groups for your trust in me. I am keenly aware that the presidency entails both a glorious mission and important responsibilities. I will faithfully perform the duties vested in me by the Constitution, be loyal to the country and the people, fulfill all my duties, dedicate myself to public service, advance the interests of the people and the country, subject myself to public oversight, and live up to the trust you and the people of all ethnic groups in China have placed in me. Fellow deputies, the People's Republic of China has a splendid history. Led by the first generation of the party's collective central leadership, with Mao Zedong at the core, the second generation of collective central leadership, with Deng Xiaoping at the core, the third generation of collective central leadership, with Jiang Zemin at the core, and the CPC Central Committee, with Hu Jintao as General Secretary. The Chinese people of all ethnic groups, making unremitting efforts, one generation after another, surmounted all difficulties and obstacles on our way ahead, and made world-renowned achievements. Today, our People's Republic stands proud and firm in the East. With his rich political vision, outstanding leadership, and dedication, Comrade Hu Jintao made remarkable achievements in upholding and building socialism with Chinese characteristics during his 10 years in office as Chinese president. And he won the heartfelt love of the Chinese people of all ethnic groups and wide acclaim from all over the world. We express our sincere gratitude and great respect to him. Fellow deputies, the Chinese nation has an unbroken history of more than 5,000 years of civilization. It has created a rich and profound culture and has made an unforgettable contribution to the progress of human civilization. Over the course of several thousand years, what have closely bound us together, the 56 ethnic groups of China's 1.3 billion plus people, are our indomitable struggles, the beautiful homeland we have built together, and the national spirit we have nurtured together. Running through this history, most importantly, are the ideals and vision that we share and hold dear. Realizing the goals of building a moderately prosperous society in all respects and a modern socialist country that is prosperous, strong, democratic, culturally advanced, and harmonious, and the Chinese dream of the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation means that we will make China prosperous and strong, rejuvenate the nation, and bring happiness to the Chinese people. They both embody the ideals of the Chinese people today and represent our forefathers' glorious tradition of untiring pursuit of progress. Facing the mighty tide of the times and the great expectations of the people for a better life, we must not become complacent or slacken off in the slightest. We must redouble our efforts and forge ahead relentlessly to advance the cause of building Chinese socialism and endeavor to realize the Chinese dream of the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. To realize the Chinese dream, we must take our own path, which is the path of building socialism with Chinese characteristics. It is not an easy path. We are able to embark on this path thanks to the great endeavors of reform and opening up made in the past 30 years and more. The continuous quest made in the 60-plus years of the PRC, a thorough review of the evolution of the Chinese nation in its 170-plus years of modern history, and carrying forward the 5,000-plus years of Chinese civilization. This path is deeply rooted in history, and broadly based on China's present realities. The Chinese nation has extraordinary capabilities, with which it has built the great Chinese civilization, and with which we can expand and stay on the development path suited to China's national conditions. The people of all ethnic groups in China should have full confidence in the theory, path, and system of socialism with Chinese characteristics and steadfastly forge ahead along the correct Chinese path. To realize the Chinese dream, we must foster the Chinese spirit. It is the national spirit, with patriotism at its core, and it is the spirit of the times, with reform and innovation at its core. This spirit unites the people and pools their strength, and it is the source for rejuvenating and strengthening the country. Patriotism has always been the inner force that binds the Chinese nation together, and reform and innovation have always been the inner force that spurs us to keep abreast of the times in the course of reform and opening up. Our people of all ethnic groups must foster the great national spirit and follow the call of the times. Strengthen our inner bond of unity and perseverance, and vigorously march towards the future. To realize the Chinese dream, we must pool China's strength. That is, the strength of great unity among the people of all ethnic groups. The Chinese dream is the dream of our nation and every Chinese. As long as we close ranks and pursue this common dream with great determination, we can create enormous strength to achieve it and enjoy vast space for each and every one of us to fulfill our own dreams. All the Chinese who live in our great country in this great age share the opportunity to pursue excellence, realize our dreams, and develop ourselves along with our country. With a dream, opportunities, and efforts, all beautiful things can be created. We, the people of all ethnic groups in China, should bear our mission in mind and make concerted efforts to turn the wisdom and strength of our 1.3 billion people into an invincible force. The Chinese dream is, in the final analysis, the dream of the people. So we must rely firmly on them to realize it. And we must steadily deliver benefits to them. We must uphold, at the same time, the leadership of the party, the position of the people as masters of their own destiny, and the rule of law. Maintain the principal position of the people, expand people's democracy, and promote law-based governance. We should uphold and improve the system of people's congresses as China's fundamental political system, and the basic political systems of multi-party cooperation and political consultation under the leadership of the CPC, of regional ethnic autonomy, and of community-level self-governance. We should build a service-oriented, accountable, law-based, and clean government, and fully motivate the people. We should be guided by the strategic thinking that only development will make a difference, and steadfastly take economic development as the central task. We should comprehensively promote socialist economic, political, social, and ecological advancement, further reform and opening up, boost the scientific way of development, and continue to lay a solid material and cultural foundation for realizing the Chinese dream. We should always bear in mind We should always bear the people's aspirations in mind and be responsive to their expectations. Ensure their equal rights to participate in governance and develop themselves, and uphold social fairness and justice. We should make steady progress in ensuring that all the people enjoy the rights to education, employment, medical, and old age care, and housing. We should continue to fulfill, uphold, and develop the fundamental interests of all the people. All these efforts will enable our people to share fully and fairly the benefits of development and move steadily toward shared prosperity on the basis of continued economic and social development. We should consolidate and develop the broadest possible patriotic united front, strengthen our party's unity and cooperation with other political parties and personages without party affiliation, consolidate and develop socialist ethnic relations of equality, unity, mutual assistance, and harmony, give full play to the positive role that religious figures and believers play in promoting economic and social development, and do our utmost to rally all the possible forces around us. Fellow deputies, one must both have great ambition and make tireless efforts to achieve great exploits. Footnote 1. The Book of History, Shang Shu, a collection of documents and speeches by rulers of the Shang, 1600 to 1046 BC, and Zhou, 1046 to 256 BC dynasties. End of footnote 1. China is still in the primary stage of socialism and will remain so for a long time to come. There is still much to do and a long way to go before we can realize the Chinese dream and create a better life for all our people. So every one of us should continue working towards this goal as hard as possible. Workers, farmers, and intellectuals throughout the country should give full rein to their talents, work diligently, and play a key role in promoting economic and social development. All functionaries should selflessly act in the public interest, be honest and industrious, show concern for problems encountered by the people, and deliver practical services to them. All officers and men of the People's Liberation Army and the People's Armed Police Force should strive to build powerful armed forces that follow the command of the party, are able to win battles, and have fine conduct. They should become better able to perform their mission, steadfastly uphold China's sovereignty, security, and development interests, and resolutely protect the lives and property of the people. All the people working in the non-public sector of the economy and from new social groups should promote creativity and entrepreneurship through hard work, give back to society what they have gained from it, bring benefits to the people, and become actively involved in building socialism with Chinese characteristics. Young people should aim high, acquire more knowledge, temper their will, and make their formative years richly rewarding ones in an era of progress. Our compatriots in the special administrative regions of Hong Kong and Macau should put the overall interests of the country and their regions first. and uphold and promote long-term prosperity and stability in Hong Kong and Macau. Our compatriots in Taiwan and on the mainland should join hands in supporting, maintaining, and promoting the peaceful growth of cross-straits relations, improving the people's lives on both sides of the Taiwan Straits, and creating a new future for the Chinese nation. Overseas Chinese should carry forward the Chinese nation's fine traditions of diligence and kindness and contribute to the development of the country and friendship between the Chinese people and the people in their host countries. We Chinese are peace-loving people. We will uphold the principle of peace, development, cooperation, and mutual benefit, stay firm in pursuing peaceful development, resolutely follow a mutually beneficial strategy of opening up, and continue to promote friendship and cooperation with other countries. We will fulfill our international responsibilities and obligations and continue to work with the peoples of all other countries to advance the lofty cause of peace and development of mankind. Fellow deputies, the CPC is the central force for leading and bringing together people of all ethnic groups in advancing the great cause of building Chinese socialism. It shoulders a historical mission and faces the tests of our times. We must uphold the principles that the party was founded for the public good, that it exercises state power for the people, and that it should supervise its own conduct and operate under strict discipline. We must strengthen party building in all respects, steadily improve the party's art of leadership and governance, and make it better able to fight corruption, prevent degeneration, and ward off risks. All our party members, leading officials in particular, should be firm in our belief, always place the people above all else in our hearts, and carry forward the party's fine traditions and conduct. We should firmly oppose formalism, bureaucratism, hedonism, and extravagance, resolutely combat corruption and other misconduct, preserve communists' political integrity, and dedicate ourselves to the cause of the party and the people. Fellow deputies, achieving great goals requires perseverance. All political parties, organizations, ethnic groups, social groups, and people from all walks of life in China should rally more closely around the CPC Central Committee, comprehensively implement the guiding principles of the party's 18th National Congress, follow the guidance of Deng Xiaoping theory, the important thought of the three represents, and the scientific outlook on development. We should remain modest and prudent, work hard, and forge ahead with determination to achieve new and bigger victories in realizing a moderately prosperous society in all respects and accelerating socialist modernization, and thus make new and bigger contribution to mankind. Hard work makes dreams come true. April 28th, 2013. Part of the speech at the discussion session with national model workers. We have set the goals of completing the building of a moderately prosperous society in all respects by the centenary of the CPC in 2021 and building China into a modern socialist country that is prosperous, strong, democratic, culturally advanced, and harmonious by the centenary of the PRC in 2049, so as to realize the Chinese dream of the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. Although the way ahead is rugged and the tasks of achieving reform, development, and stability are arduous, we are confident in the future. The working class of our country must play an exemplary and leading role in taking the Chinese path, fostering the Chinese spirit, and building up China's strength, and make concerted efforts to realize the Chinese dream. People make history, and work creates the future. Work is the fundamental driving force driving the progress of human society. Happiness does not fall from the sky, nor do dreams come true automatically. To achieve our goals and create a bright future, we must rely closely on the people, always act in their interests, and work in an industrious, honest, and creative way. We often say, empty talk harms the country, while hard work makes it flourish. This means we must first get down to work. As we forge ahead, we must give full rein to the vital role of the working class and its historical initiative, and arouse its motivation for work and creation. First, we must make sure that the working class is our main force. The working class is China's leading class. It represents China's advanced productive forces and relations of production. It is our party's most steadfast and reliable class foundation. And it is the main force for realizing a moderately prosperous society in all respects, and upholding and building socialism with Chinese characteristics. Since the introduction of the reform and opening up policy more than 30 years ago, our working class has been growing and improving, and its structure becoming better. It has taken on a new look, and its advanced nature has been strengthened. To uphold and build Chinese socialism in the future, we must rely wholeheartedly on the working class, enhance its position as China's leading class, and give full play to its role as our main force. Relying fully on the working class is not just a slogan or label. Rather, we should rely on it in the whole process of formulating party and government policies, and implement it in our work, as well as in all aspects of production and operation of enterprises. Second, we must rely firmly on the working class to build socialism with Chinese characteristics. Chinese socialism is what we must pursue if we are to achieve development and make progress in contemporary China, realize the Chinese dream, and create a bright future for China's working class. Chinese workers should enhance their sense of historical mission and responsibility, do their jobs well, and keep the country's overall interests in mind. They should pursue their ideals of life and work for the well-being of their families while working to make the country prosperous and strong and rejuvenate the nation. They should pursue both their personal aspirations and the Chinese dream, and, as the masters of the country, contribute to upholding and building socialism with Chinese characteristics. The working class should have a firm belief in the vision of socialism with Chinese characteristics, closely follow the party, resolutely support the socialist system, reform and opening up, and be the mainstay of upholding the Chinese path. The working class should practice the core socialist values, give full play to its own great strengths, influence and lead the whole of society with its vision and exemplary actions, infuse new energy into the Chinese spirit, and be a model of fostering the Chinese spirit. Footnote 1. The core socialist values are prosperity, democracy, civility, harmony, freedom, equality, justice, the rule of law, patriotism, dedication, integrity, and friendship. They were first mentioned in the political report delivered in November 2012 to the 18th CPC National Congress, titled Firmly March on the Path of Socialism with Chinese Characteristics and Strive to Complete the Building of a Moderately Prosperous Society in all respects. End of footnote 1. The Chinese working class should take it as its mission to rejuvenate the nation, unleash its great creativity, carry forward its glorious tradition of acting in the overall interests of the country, maintain political stability and unity, and remain the core force for building up China's strength. Third, we must continue to respect work and make all those who work enjoy happiness. Work is the source of wealth and happiness. To realize beautiful dreams, solve difficulties hampering development, and be successful in life, one must do honest work. Work has shaped the Chinese nation and its glorious history, and it is work that will shape its bright future. There is nothing that cannot be accomplished through hard work. We must be firm in the belief that work is what is most honorable, most sublime, most magnificent, and most beautiful. And we should spur the enthusiasm for work of all the people and release their creative potential to create a better life through work. The whole of society should follow the important policy of respecting work, knowledge, talent, and creation, uphold and develop the interests of people who work, and protect their rights. We should uphold social fairness and justice, remove obstacles that prevent workers from participating in development and sharing in the benefits of development, and ensure that workers have decent working conditions and achieve all-round development. The whole of society should love work, be diligent, and guard against indolence. Fourth, we must emulate model workers. The power of a good example is enormous. Model workers are the cream of the country and role models for the people. Over the years, model workers have made extraordinary achievements out of ordinary work. They have nurtured the ethos of the model workers, namely, dedication to work, striving for excellence, working hard, being bold and innovating, not being lured by fame and wealth, and being ready to make sacrifices. This has enriched the ethos of our nation and the times, and become an invaluable source of inspiration. To meet our development goals, we must enrich ourselves, not only materially, but culturally and ethically as well. The people of all ethnic groups in the country should learn from model workers, follow their examples, and, with a sense of urgency, strive to realize the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. Model workers and other role models should cherish the honor conferred upon them and deliver an even better performance. They should be dedicated to work and make selfless contributions and become pace-setters, having firm vision and conviction, working hard and promoting unity. Workers in China today should have not only strength, but also vision, expertise, and the capability to invent and innovate so that they can create with action a splendid China. Party committees, governments, and trade unions at all levels should value the role of model workers, care for them, support them in playing their key role, help them solve all the difficulties they encounter in work and life, and widely publicize their exemplary deeds, so as to promote the ethos of model workers. Both the party and workers place high hopes on the trade unions. The Chinese trade unions are workers' organizations under the leadership of the CPC, and they serve as bridges through which the party maintains contact with workers. They are an important social pillar supporting the government in our socialist country. The path for developing trade unions with Chinese characteristics is an important part of socialism with Chinese characteristics. It represents the nature and features of trade unions and is an important guarantee for the trade unions to stay on the right track of development. We should keep to this path and steadily widen it. Times keep changing, and innovation is a regular feature of our mission. Likewise, the trade unions should keep developing themselves and make innovations in their work. We should, adapting to the times and social changes, develop good and effective working methods to make workers feel that the trade unions are their homes and trade union officials are their family members, whom they can turn to for help. We should make providing dedicated services to people as the starting point and goal of all the work of the trade unions, Work for them heart and soul. Heed their views. Uphold the legitimate rights and interests of workers, including rural migrant workers. Provide them with voluntary services. Help solve problems they face in a down-to-earth manner, and promote harmonious socialist work relations. We need to pay close attention to the diversified demands of people who work. Unleash the potential for their career development, and strive to train large numbers of high-caliber people who are knowledgeable, have a good command of technical expertise, and are innovative. Party committees and governments at all levels should strengthen and improve their leadership over the trade unions, support them in their work, and provide more resources and means to them so that they are better able to perform their functions. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. There is a bright future for our country, but reaching it will not be easy. We cannot accomplish our goal with one single effort, nor can we realize our dream overnight. Every accomplishment in the world is hard won. The more beautiful the future, the harder we must work for it. Hard work will overcome difficulties and make one's dream come true. We should endeavor to foster throughout society the work ethic of being down to earth and diligent. Leading officials at all levels should foster the ethos of model workers. They should pursue realistic policies, boost morale, and handle things in a pragmatic way. They should not be pretentious or just pursue image-building accomplishments, and they should firmly oppose formalism, bureaucratism, hedonism, and extravagance, which both government officials and the public detest. They should lead the people by example and deliver a good performance in all their work. I firmly believe that under the leadership of the CPC Central Committee, and with the concerted efforts of the Chinese working class and all other workers, and the people of all ethnic groups in China, we can certainly create an even brighter future and realize the Chinese dream of the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation.